Hey, what's up, y'all? Episode 65, Insider Ties. It's been an interesting week, man. And I did an Insider Ties on Wednesday. It was episode 64. And it was discussing the Adidas issue. That analyst, NPD Group analyst Matt Powell, the information that he put out where he said he never thought he'd see Jordan Brand be overtaken. And Adidas jumped over the Jumpman for the number 2 spot in sneakers. And that video, I'll put it right here, or one of these sides. It should pop up anytime now, and you can click on that and watch the video because I had, as an analyst, I'm in marketing though. I'm on a completely different side of the fence as Matt Powell. He's in data. He looks at point of sale, POS, retail data. So the point of sale data that comes from different companies, that's what he's looking at. And he's making his analysis that he's taking, and he's going to work with all of these different brands around the world about what is selling and how certain things are moving. And then they try to predict a trend. Now, I'm in a completely different field. I tell people how to move people towards their product. It's a completely different thing that I'm analyzing than what he's analyzing. So we can't be compared. But in looking at what he's saying, I thought it was very kind of short sighted. And I thought it was a little bit dismissive to ignore the reason Adidas has been able to do what it's done, and to ignore the fact that Nike didn't so much as lose shares as much as they gave the shares away. They had to. You can't focus on two things. You have to build a particular segment, and then you have to complete the build out of that segment. When you attempt to do more than one thing, your business suffers. Nike was smart enough to realize that. The problem is it's taken 3 years for them to complete the entire process. The process started in 2012, and I saw where he actually said, oh, Nike was working on this 10 years ago. It's not true. Nike began a DTC push, a huge DTC push, in right around 2011, 2012. Up until that point, Foot Locker had one of the most active e-commerce platforms online. Foot Locker was really the destination for people to buy their shoes, in regard to Nike footwear. Nike surpassed Foot Locker and dropped, and I put this in another video, dropped everybody else down, and Nike became the premier place for people to buy their footwear that's Nike-based product. So it's one of those things where this conversation took place, and it kind of came to a head this week. So I was making sure I was going to talk about that, and I'm not going to go over it a long time, but I think, as sneaker culture people, man, this is our culture, and we try to take care of each other and talk about things. And he's a big person in sneaker culture because he has all of these stats that everybody shares his information on. Now, the other day he said, anyone wonder why Adidas management never mentions West on conference calls to stock market? And this is what the problem is. People came down here and they started responding to Matt Powell, and he was like, they didn't do it. Well, a Wall Street Journal reporter, very respected reporter, Sarah Germano, she actually came back and said, this is not true. Matt Powell never responded to her. And at that point, I kind of lost respect for the dude. Because here is a Wall Street Journal reporter, someone who's used your data, who's helped increase your profile of your company, and you ignore her when she says this because what you're trying to do is initiate frustration and initiate dissension with people who like Yeezy or support Yeezy. Now, what I did was I came into this article, and I wrote this post to basically find out if what Sarah Germano said was true. And she's right. The brass at Adidas had been mentioning Kanye as one of the things that helped support the growth of the brand. Now, Matt Powell is right in saying that Kanye was not the primary factor or the only factor. He needed to word himself in a different way, but he's trying to be combative to increase his Twitter followers or increase his status on Twitter, I guess. I don't know. But this is the thing. You can't sit there and say things that are not true and then be okay. And you have people who are supporting him who have not done the research. And then when you come back and you find Casper Rorsted on Kanye West, Herbert Hainer on Kanye West, reports from quarter one where Kanye West is mentioned, all of this information is readily available. We simply have to look for it. Now, that's the first thing that I wanted to kind of get out of the way. The second thing is I sat last night and I took 43 minutes and I transcribed the entire shareholders meeting. Well, I didn't transcribe the entire thing. I did the key points. So I'm going to put the link down here for you to click on if you guys are interested in reading about what Nike's been doing. And it supports everything that I've been saying about DTC over the last 3 years. So if you went back all the way to one of these earlier videos where I was talking about DTC, you can come here now and see what Nike said themselves at their shareholders meeting and the primary points of interest that you should see. And it's broken down one by one. And then I did the question and answers as well. So this helps you out if you want to get into more conversations with more depth. Once again, I know this was a little bit drier than usual, but it was pretty big information this week, man. And hopefully everything's going well for you guys. Everything's good over here. It's Insider Ties, AHN, Arc Times House of Kick Network. Big shout out to Patrick Ewing, not Patrick Ewing, but Ewing Athletics and Patrick Ewing for sponsoring the website this week. Go check out Patrick Ewing. They're doing some good work and they're going DTC now. So you can go to the website and get some great deals. That's it. I hope you guys are doing well. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Peace.